All right, so now all we need to do is start draping these different pieces down onto our site. All right, so for instance, I can take any of these guys and let's see, I think we can just drape them all at the same time, to be honest. So I'll just draw a big selection window around the whole thing. I'm gonna make it one group. I always save before I do anything with the sandbox tools or really any plugin. It's just a good idea if you're going to run some big operation, save it. And then with the sandbox tools, we've got our drapee is pre-selected. So the flat plan that we're going to drape onto our terrain is pre-selected. I activate my drape tool and then click on here, and that's going to draw out that entire 2D plan onto my 3D site. What I'm looking for here is that I want the surfaces to be divided. All right, now you can see that like, I don't want to get rid of this thing just yet. So let's just put that on the always off layer and then hide it. And then let's take a look at what we've got. All right, so you can see like this surface is divided. This surface is divided, looking good. Everything's in really good shape here. All right, so at this point, it is kind of cool because you can start to like, add some of these little details that really make a difference. All right, so one of those details is going to be something like this path. All right, if I make this a group, double click in, and then delete that surface. All right, and then I'm going to select the entire surface and I'm going to make a soap skin bubble out of it. All right, and so maybe I'll say, I don't know, we'll do 50 again on that. And we'll get the soap skin bubble to kind of regrade its entire self here. And so then this one soap skin bubble, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure to it. So maybe I'll say 2 and see what that looks like. And let's just do like 25 and just, get something outrageous here. Well, that wasn't so bad. See, I like that look. I'll tell you what it's going to do is in Lumion, we're going to use the gravel that has like that displacement map, and the fact that like the path is just kind of bumping up and then you're going to have the displacement material on top of that. I mean, that's going to be a really, really cool look. And so actually I think that's exactly what I'm going for, something like that. It's a little bit exaggerated, but that's okay. All right, so then I'm just going to use my select tool, soften all that. So there we go. That looks good. And then back here, we can do the same thing with like these mulch beds. All right. So if I group this and then we can hide the rest of the model, I'm going to delete this. I'll select all, make a soap skin bubble. Maybe we'll do 25 on this one, hit enter, and it gets it all pathed in, gets it all kind of patched in for me. And then let's dial up the pressure, say 25, see what that does. And like hide the rest of my model. And that might be just a little bit excessive. Let's try like 15. And so you can, make a few changes. It's just kind of like, that's how they would lay that mulch down. It wouldn't just be like this perfect, exactly, 3 inches of mulch across the whole thing. They're going to like shovel it in. It's going to kind of taper off. And I don't know, gives a nicer rolling look to it, breaks up that kind of computer feel. So that looks good. And then, oh yeah, let me soften all my edges here. And, you just kind of triple click, soften them up. And then the last thing we'll do right here. So like, instead of making that into our mulch bed, let's just group it, double click in, delete, hide the rest of the model, select our kind of path around there, soap skin bubble, 25, enter. And then we'll assign some pressure to that one. I think we went with like 15 on the last one. And let's see what we get. And that one didn't, we didn't, oh, I didn't hit enter. Sorry about that. There we go. So now we're good. And then we'll assign pressure of like, say, 15. Oh, and you can see, the direction of the pressure is based on, the surface, the sides that we're seeing, the front or the back. So I'll just hit -15, enter. And then I'll go in and kind of flip these around, and you can take a look at it like this and see exactly how exaggerated that is. Yeah, that looks good to me. All right, so then triple click, Control R is my keyboard shortcut to reverse those faces, soften them up, and we're in good shape. So now we've got that path happening. We've got our yard, and then we'll have all of our river rock. So let's get our textures on here. All right. So I'm going to bring the whole plan back. And then all I need to do now is sample my grass like that. So we've got our grass on there, we've got our river rock, and we've got our mulch bed. Again, river rock, and then like a crushed gravel there. And let me just make sure, see, and you know what? This is where, let me undo this. I don't want to paint my materials on groups. I want to make sure that I'm painting them on surfaces. All right, so if I just hit Control A, I can kind of get a look at it. And really the only things that I need to be aware of is like those extra soap skin bubbles that I did. So we're good with the grass. I can sample the grass, and we're good with our river rock, so I can get those taken care of. But when it comes to our pea gravel going inside of this path, I want to make sure I double click in and assign, I didn't mean to do that. Make sure that I only apply a material to a surface, not to the group. All right, so what I'm getting at is like, this is a group, and I can paint it, and it does look right. But you get weird behavior. It's not the best practice. So you want to double click in and apply a material to a surface. That's the best idea, like that. All right. So let me back out here, and yeah, this is looking great. I mean, it's a pretty simple design in general, but what a great project to learn on and kind of work this thing up and make a few mistakes before you get to your own project. So, regarding this piece up here, it's on our always off layer. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to get rid of it just yet. While we're at it, let's get our textures for the rest of the model. Let's just kind of apply some of those, and then we're gonna move on to one last really cool trick before I end this session. So let's see. I just need kind of a simple grass for like everything out here, and it's not going to be grass. We're not going to use like a perfect sod. This is going to be, when we get into Lumion, this is going to be like a the landscape material, and we'll get to all that, but like basically this green grass is going to be nice, perfect 3D grass, whereas this is going to be the landscape grass, which allows us to like add some imperfections and kind of paint some dirt and do some really cool things for the whole background. But that's good where it's at right now. And then this surface here, this I need to go over here and choose from my asphalt and concrete, and we'll just paint, with one shot there. It'll all be asphalt. And then our sidewalks, really those guys do need to be some concrete. So, and I forget which concretes I've used. So I'll just hold Shift and click on that. And, we might get into Lumion and find ourselves needing to, make some materials unique in order to kind of break them apart and do different things with them. But there we go. So there's our whole site with all our sidewalks painted. We got our asphalt painted, got our driveway. We've got the grass sitting just a little bit below. I'm telling you, that detail, that's a good trick, a good tip to keep in mind, because when we get into Lumion, we want that grass growing up past our concrete. And yeah, so everything's looking good. All right, so the last piece to this SketchUp model, which is really coming together here, I'm really psyched about the, we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's all good. So we've made some significant strides forward with our site modeling, but we're lacking a fence. All right, so we do need like a fence that goes around this whole property. We'll take a look at some pictures to get an idea of where the fence goes, but I want to show you another one of Chuck Valley's instant architecture tools, which is instant fence and railing. And I use instant railing all the time. Like pretty much every railing that I build, I just go straight to instant railing. But it also builds fences. Really, really powerful tool. Let me show you. If you like this video, click the BD button to subscribe to our channel. Every week we post new videos covering SketchUp, layout, Lumion, and our Condoc Tools extension. If you are a professional architect or interior designer, you're going to love our tutorials.